Boom, check engine light. How good is that?
I really wish I didn't have to take those off.
Guys, we did a whole video on fitting those downpipes. Video is in the top right hand corner right now, and I've had to remove them. So let me explain why. These Audis with that 3-litre motor, the supercharged motor, are amazing. They are so tunable, and especially here in Australia, they're just cost effective all around. They're not super expensive for the older ones, the B8 and B8.5. And tuning is relatively a low cost as well, and you get to make big power. And there's not many other cars like that, especially nowadays. Skylines and stuff, they used to be so cheap, and now people are trying to sell a stock Skyline like an R33 or especially an R32 for the price of one of these, and the age difference and all that sort of stuff, and what you get with these, it's, you know, it's a completely different car. But anyway, I'm ranting. They do come with their problems as well. Probably the most notable issue is the gearbox problem. Video on the top right hand corner. We've already rectified that on this car. It's when you start tuning these things, and I did as much research as I could, but there was some grey areas, and hopefully I can help someone here and you guys won't make some of the mistakes that I have. So first of all, have a listen to this. Okay, if you could hear how bad that was, you already know why I had to remove those downpipes. If not, I'll keep explaining. So this car is now technically stage 3, I think that's what they call it, or you can call it stage 2 or stage 2 plus, or you can just call it supercharger pulley upgrade and heat exchanger and throttle body. And what happens when you make that power is the factory cats will fail, not might fail, will fail, and it's only a matter of time. And some people even say that the cats will fail from factory power. So what you need to do is change those cats out to either high flow ones, or gut them, or whatever, you know, pick your poison, do it. But what you won't know is that it makes the car sound like shit. It makes the car sound so bad. I had the JHM test pipes put on, and there's another thing actually in there, that the cost of doing this is very expensive. You can expect to pay $800 to $1,000 in labor, maybe more, even up to $2,000. Some places will charge $1,500, but I think $800 to $1,000 is fair. It shouldn't take more than a day for a workshop. And then the pipes themselves, which could be another couple, $300 or whatever. So it's a fairly high cost for what it is, considering if you didn't have to do it, you probably wouldn't. I had those JHM test pipes paired with the integrated engineering downpipes, and I even had mufflers on the back at this stage, because if you watch the video in the top right hand corner, we put mufflers back on the car. It sounded like a truck. I didn't record it because when I left the shop, I went up the road and did a U-turn and went straight back and pulled the car into the workshop, and I was like, there is something missing, like I'm sorry, but there's a mistake. It's leaking. It's clearly leaking from the engine. That's what I said. And they put it on the hoist. I looked at it with them, did the test, and under the car it actually sounded fine. So I just couldn't understand. We did all the tests, looked for leaks anywhere, used a pole like a pipe to listen. Anyway, it sounded, under the car it sounded alright. As soon as it's on the ground, I guess that's when the resonance happens. I'm talking bad. Like, you can't drive it. I couldn't drive the car properly, even past 2,000 res. It was even babying the car. People are looking like, what the hell's wrong with that car? This made me absolutely furious. On the following Saturday, jumped under the car, put the factory pipes back on, and now it's not undrivable, it just sounds like garbage. So how do you fix this? You need a custom exhaust with an X pipe, and I haven't fixed it yet, so when I fix it, I'll give you the recipe on how to fix it. But some people will say just go get an aftermarket exhaust, like a AWE system, CTS, make one, there's a few. But for me, the exhaust is about $2,500 US, so you're looking at a bit over $3,000 here, then delivery. So I'm looking at $3,500, $4,000 for an exhaust delivered. I couldn't justify that cost. And you know, the pulley upgrades and the heat exchanger and all that sort of stuff, that's not too bad. You know, you might end up spending $4,000 or $5,000 there. And then, so you make all this power and you love it, and then you've got to spend another $4,000 just on the exhaust system. No thanks. I'm not down for that. So what we're going to do now is I'm having an exhaust shop look at the car. I'm just going to give them the car. I don't want the rasp. It's raspy inside. It's droney inside, all from the front end, and it's loud, and not in a good way. You want the loud to be sort of at the back. You know, you can hear the DSG farts, you can hear the exhaust. It's not too loud, but it's nice. This is just, oh, it sounds terrible. And I wish I never had to do the cats. This exact video, just watching this, would have helped me a lot, and I probably wouldn't have gone and get test pipes. I might have looked at different cats, high flow cats or something like that. But either way, if you're going to modify these cars in the way where they need to make the power that they do, this is something that has to be done. So deal with it. That's what I'm going to do. And what we're going to do now, so the little rundown is we're going to add an X pipe sort of in the middle, maybe add something else at the front if I have to. I'm going to take the integrated engineering pipes with me. If they need to do any modification on the integrated engineering pipes, they can do that, and hopefully it fixes the sound. All right, this is windows up. Hopefully you can hear that. Sounds like shit. Very raspy, very rattly. I'll do another little pull with the windows down up there. Didn't even get above 2,500 RPM, and that's how bad it is. See if I can listen. Oh. Bad. You ready? That was alright. So if you're at not even quarter throttle, it's okay. As soon as you give it a bit, oh, there it is. Sounds so bad. So touch base with you guys when we get to the shop and see what they say about it. Well, that was unsuccessful. I'm back home now. I took the car to an exhaust shop, and they put it up on the hoist and had a look at it. And where I have put the factory downpipes in place, we were looking at the integrated engineering pipes, and we're talking about adding some high flow cats there. And because they're not so close to the motor, they won't fail like the ones at the front will. But they didn't really want to touch the center muffler. That was the muffler that I knew needed to be replaced with an X pipe, or a resonated X pipe. From the research that I've done, people say that is what fixes this raspy, disgusting sound, but I'm not sure. So then I took it to another exhaust shop. They're booked out for 2 weeks. Well, one, they weren't even open, but from when they opened, they're about 2 weeks away. And I took it to one last shop, and he's going to price me up on parts to get that done. So how it will look, here are the integrated engineering downpipes. So what we're going to do is put them back on, but chop them up somewhere to put some high flow cats, so at least then the car will have cats. And another problem doesn't end.
Boom, check engine light. How good is that? A car with 100,000 Ks
has a check engine light. Another problem, because the cats are not there. The O2 sensors, one of the O2 sensors could be bad, or it's just because of the fact there is no cats. So maybe the reading that it wants is not right. Let's take a look in the engine bay, see if we can see any issues for that check engine light, and then we'll plug the computer in. A bit hard to see for you guys, but both of the oxygen sensors, there's one right here, one on the other side, they both look fine. Alright, moment of truth. There's our engine malfunction, that's the one I care about at the moment. Alright, we've got 2 faults, but it's not showing me exactly what they are. So I'll just try and clear them anyway. No fault found. Yeah, cool. So the fault is gone now. That does point to the direction that it might be the O2 sensors, and the fact that there's no cats there, because what will happen is the faults are cleared now, the car will start, so we'll start it. It doesn't want to start that time. Okay, and we've got no fault, but what will happen is the fault will come back. So then I can clear it, it'll come back, clear it, it'll come back. Don't know if there's I haven't done enough research on this myself to work out what the proper fix is, but the quick fix is to get your OBD11, get your VCDS and code it, the fault out, and it will go. If it's a more sinister issue, if the oxygen sensor is fallen off or is really cooked, if there's a real problem, the fault won't go away, then you need to start searching deeper and having a look. That's an obvious part, but I'm going to clear the other fault codes that were there as well, which I'm just doing right now. Clear. Okay, faults have been erased, and then what is left is the faults that are always there. Backup cam, that's my fault. That's just something not plugged in, I can fix. Information electronics has always been there from day one, and headlight range has always been there from day one. Nothing major. Information electronics I think is a coding issue, and headlight range is in one of my early videos. I was showing you guys that two things, and you can see one of them here. Sometimes that is always off, that little sort of 30 to 70 LEDs, they're all off, and sometimes I get a headlight range malfunction there, and it comes and goes. I'm not worried about them, they're fine. It was mainly the engine and the ABS, which is cleared now. If you go for test pipes, just know you'll have a world of pain to deal with from the sound aspect and from the smell as well. It is nasty. The smell is so bad. Sometimes it comes into the cabin as well, which is why I've opted for high flow cats, and we're just gonna, like I said, we're gonna put them further down the exhaust line so that they don't blow up like these factory ones would. But yeah, obviously that means the 0 to 60s and dyno days and all that stuff are a little bit further down the track, but I will be pushing to get this exhaust setup fixed as soon as possible. And yeah, so it wasn't very exciting, this one, but you know, that's okay. We'll get there. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks.